name is Dhyan Nirmeg.
Yeah.
I'm from Starksboro, Vermont, Huntington Center. And I've been involved with a lot of these energy facilities applications since 2003. And you know, I still don't understand what the Queechy test is, even though I've, you know, talked about it 100 times in the thing. The only time that I ever, you know, felt like I ever won a case was with the Public Service Board was when they put up a tower in Huntington, and after 3 years they were made to take it down. And I didn't have enough money. It was right in our view shed, right there in front of Camel's Hump, and it was out of, it was in a different zone, and the zoning administrator called it a farm building. Tower, farm bill, 120 feet high. And, but anyway, the process took 3 or 4 years. I had to be my own lawyer with a guy who had money, that adjacent landowner that was right underneath his house that had money that could hire a lawyer. And so that was my first, you know, experience. And then we hired lawyers on the East Haven, the 3 towers that were proposed for East Haven Mountain. And
Are you talking telecommunications or wind?
wind. I'm talking about wind. And
in both cases?
what's that?
In both cases?
Yes.
Okay.
And in that case, we had to hire a lawyer, and we had 2 of them, and they did a lot of work, and eventually, I guess, won the case or petered out or something, but the bill was $90,000. And all the people had to get together and try to pay that bill. And what happened is that we only got $28,000 together to pay these 2 lawyers. And every single thing that I've been involved in since has, you know, the board says, well, you got to get a lawyer. This is the criteria. And you go into these rooms, and the power companies have got money. And they've got 4 or 5 lawyers right there. And the average citizen does not have a lawyer. And if it does have a lawyer, then all of a sudden the cost gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and a lot of these lawyers are working for a little bit. And there's a lot of lawyers in the state that won't touch, you know, doesn't want to go against the Public Service Board, or you know, or they don't want to go through the process. And I think what we've been trying to do is get some type of advocate for the people, some type of, you know, if these companies are going to put a bid in to you know, have a power generation plant of some type, then they should be paying some type of money. They've got money, they've got government money, and they're, the regular people don't get anywhere. And I know they don't get anywhere because I have testified, I don't know how many times I've testified in front of the Public Service Board in 14 years. And I don't really know where it's gotten. And the other thing is that I have done everything that I've done. I probably spent $30,000, $40,000 on my own money over these years trying to fight different types of facilities.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are those facilities adjacent to your property, or is it simply your interest in preventing a specific type of facility?
Well, there's hardly a facility in the state of Vermont that the Public Service Board hasn't approved.
No, I'm talking about your interest in,
Yeah.
in the opposition.
My interest is you're talking about the public good. I've worked all over the state of Vermont in probably 80 different towns in my lifetime, and I feel like this is my backyard. So if you want to call me a NIMBY or anything like that, okay. Yes, I am. I am. Because I see the proliferation, I see the, you know, it's energy sprawl. That's what's happening. We can't even feed our own population. We feed 2% of our population for all the food we grow in Vermont, not counting the commodities of maple syrup and selling milk and apples. And yet we're, you know, we got all these proposals. You get 6 proposals by this big gigantic company for 100 acres here, 100 acres here, 100 acres here, here, and here. And if they get one or two, they're happier than hell. And that's the way this whole energy thing is. Do I have enough resources to fight every single thing that comes up? No, I have to pick my battles. And the only way that I can do something is volunteer work. I've taken, on Seneca Mountain, I've taken people up to see the mountain, wilderness societies that had money to, buy land, to create easements, but usually they get fired afterwards. But I want to just talk about the money part of it, being able to participate, that you just, want to listen to experts. Well, you can't hire experts all the time. I tried to hire an expert about wildlife 8 or 10 years ago, and it cost me $90 an hour. And
Cheap?
No,
No,
it is,
yeah,
but yes.
well, if
Lawyer,
I'm getting, okay,
Sorry.
well, yeah, if I'm getting paid $25, $30 an hour, it's not so cheap.
No.
And so, I figured that I had to become the expert. I had to learn as much as I could, because I know the experts on the other side that are doing the wildlife reports are friends of mine. They grew up with me. They're 15 years younger than I am, and I know where they learn their stuff. And I also learn my stuff through school, and I also learn my stuff in the woods, because I spent my entire life in the woods. That's why I feel like, I may not be, I tell people when I'm testifying, I'm not an expert, but this is what I know.
Yeah.
And I think the board is going to take that in consideration more and more from people. There are a lot of intelligent Vermonters that, and there are some that come from their heart and they need to talk.
Yep,
And,
absolutely.
And, their lives are being affected at that time.
Yeah.